Hello everyone, my name is Jenna Joyce and it's February 22nd and I'm broadcasting from Steubenville, Ohio. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Picture Exchange Communication System, also known as PECS. People using PECS are taught to approach a person and give them a picture of a desired item in exchange for that item. So, if a student wants a snack, they would give me the PEC card with a picture of a snack on it, and I in turn would give them the snack. By doing so, the person is able to initiate communication. I work at a school for children with special needs, primarily autism, and a lot of them are nonverbal. We use PECs at our school and they work really well. I think it's important as educators to remember that even if a student is really well behaved and does everything that you ask and listens, they have no way of telling you what they need or want, and that's where PECS comes into play. Even though it may seem like a really easy concept to grasp, PECS is a form of communication that needs to be taught. Some students catch on more quickly than others, and that's okay. Patience and consistency are the keys to success. There are 6 phases to the Picture Exchange Communication System. Phase 1 is how to communicate. This is the phase where the child learns to exchange a single picture for an item or activity that they really want. This is the hardest phase to teach because the whole system is new to the child and they may not understand what you're asking them to do. They also can be very frustrated because they know that you know what they want, but you're not giving it to them. For example, I had a student in my class who would have meltdowns and cry in front of toys that were on a high shelf out of reach. And before, I would just give it to him because I knew that's what he wanted until I introduced PECS. So he would cry in front of the shelf, and at first I would have to use hand-over-hand assistance. I would take his hand, put the card in it, and put it in my hand. And as soon as I got the card, I would give him the toys. So he can make the connection that I get the card, he gets the toys. So we did that for a few weeks. And then I started using less assistance. He would cry in front of the shelf. I would put the PEC card on the table and hold out my hand and point. So he would eventually and reluctantly put the card in my hand. But as soon as I got the card, I would give him the toys. And he eventually got the hang of it, and he would begin to retrieve it himself, and he would give me the card and he would get the toys. Like I said, patience and consistency is very important, and it's also easy to give in because my days would have been a lot easier and a lot quieter if I would have just given him what he wanted, but that wouldn't have been teaching him anything, and he needed to learn an appropriate way to ask for an item. Phase 2 is distance and persistence. This is when the child still uses a single picture PEC card and uses it with different people in different places. So at school, this means with different teachers in different classrooms, such as the speech teacher or the physical therapist. The ultimate goal is to have the child use this at home, but sometimes that's difficult to get parents on board to put in the time that it takes to practice to get their child to develop this new skill. Phase 3 is picture discrimination. This is where the child learns to select the item that they want out of 2 or more choices. These are placed in a communication book, such as this one, where they have multiple choices, and they're on Velcro, so it's easy to take off and give to the teacher. Or it could just be picking between 2 items and building up to something more advanced like this. Phase 4 is sentence structure. This is when the child learns to construct simple sentences on a sentence strip that starts with an I want PEC card, and then they just fill in the blank with whatever they want. Phase 5 is answering questions, when the child learns how to answer with PECs. Answer the question, what do you want? Phase 6 is commenting. This is the phase where the child is taught to respond to questions such as, what do you see? How do you feel? What do you hear? They learn to make up sentences starting with, I see, I feel, I hear. Or, it is a fill in the blank. Another great way to use PECs is to use them for schedules. Once the child learns that a picture represents an item or an activity, you can use them as a visual schedule for your students. You could start out small, such as a first and then schedule. So first the child will do work and then they get the iPad. After they catch on to that, you can develop it into a more elaborate schedule, such as a whole morning schedule and an afternoon schedule, and then eventually go to a whole day schedule. That really helps, especially children with autism. It helps reduce anxiety and a lot of behaviors because they know what is going to be expected of them that day, and it'll make your day a lot easier as well. That's all for today. I hope I gave you some information that you can maybe be able to use in your classrooms that will make your life a little bit easier. Until next time.